Hi everyone! Welcome to another episode of Nathan's 3D Factory. In this episode, I'm going to show you how to do an asset library. Okay? So, first of all, here's my default scene, right? Now, let's say that I want to turn this cube into a pyramid. Okay, this will be a very quick example. S0. Okay. And we'll merge this at by distance, right? Alright. So, and then let's say, all right, now I want to have some materials on this. I want to rename this. I want to have this available for everything where I'm going to be doing my architectural assets, character, whatever, you know? So let's see. We'll just call this pyramid for our material, okay? All right, and then let's say, okay, so I want to have this kind of like I'll do this as like a sand or golden color, right? All right, so then kind of desaturate this a little bit. Um, Make it a little bit more of a neutral color. Okay, so got that, and I want this to show up at my viewport. Do all that stuff. So, okay, so now we have a pyramid asset. Now, how do we make it into an asset? Well, we go into our outliner, and then we say, all right, well, I'm going to mark this as an asset. Okay. Next thing what I want to do is that I'd like to see what my assets are that are available. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new window collection here. So I'm just going to do this based off of modeling. Okay. And so, I mean, tab out of edit mode here. And then what I'm going to do is that I'm going to allow this this plus sign at some point here, right here, and I'm going to split this window. Okay, now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to go into, eventually, the asset browser, okay? And I'm going to rename this to assets. I didn't do that. Okay, and now immediately you're going to see that you have all these items right here. You have, brushes, you have hair, and then you have normals. I haven't played too much with these, right? But now you'll see some other stuff that I have here. Boot, hand. These came from another asset library that I was doing. But now we have this one that has just been created within this file. These others came from other libraries, okay? And I'll explain in a moment what I'm going to do to get this into one of those other libraries. So, what I have then is my pyramid, and if I were just to drag and drop this, it comes in automatically, right? Pretty sweet, isn't it? I can do the same thing with this hand. So, Control Z. Anyway, you get the idea, right? You can make a whole ton of assets that you can just plug and play in all of your files. And so I want to do the same thing with this pyramid, okay? So I'm going to save this. And so I already have a library created for $signs model assets, okay? And I'm going to show you how you get that into your Blender. So this one we're going to call architectural assets. Okay, there we go. Now, if I get out of this, I do a new file. I'll just do a new general file, right? So I'm going to actually add a new, I'm going to do that assets workspace again. Do the same thing. Okay. Plus sign here. Rename it to assets. Okay. We'll get the asset browser. And now we're going to go through this, and now you'll see that it appeared with the pyramid now, right? So it wasn't in there before, I will say that. But that automatically loaded into my assets library. So to get into that, you're going to go into your preferences. Okay. Let's see. And preferences. Okay. Since I can't find it there. Okay. We'll just do F3 and then pull up that menu. Okay. So now, in our file paths, in asset libraries, I have this folder for $model assets. So you can add paths right here, and then you can go through these. But like basically where you have anything that is marked as an asset, that is where you can get your objects and then pull them right on in. Okay? You can do all that stuff. Now, typically, when you get these put into the file, when you do your assets, one thing that I've seen as well is that there's a difference between link and append. Now, I'm not going to go too much into detail on what these do, other than link. You'll have stuff that is actually linked directly to the file, so that anything that's getting updated in the file in the central ends up being updated real time. With append, it's just going to be a local copy that just gets cloned in, and then if it gets updated in the library, well, you know what? Then you'll have to update it. So you end up just like overwriting is what you do. So anyway, that is how you do assets in Blender. And so then, so that's a good way to get a central library for you to make new objects, and so you're not constantly reinventing them in your files. And it's a really cool way to do things. And so then you start to build up something that's just a lot smarter. So let me know in the comments what you thought of this episode. I hope you enjoyed this. I really hope that you subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so already, and that you put likes on this. And everything that you do to support me with this, it really helps me so that I get more quality content out to you. And I really appreciate this. Thank you so much for watching Nathan's 3D Factory, and have a wonderful day. Thanks, guys.